You're Near the Wild with Matt Becker and John Norris, recorded in Anchorage, Alaska. Hey, Matt Becker.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Wonderful. I think what our problem has been is I've been getting calls on your Ggreg Chaille one, and then we have the group one, and your calls are coming in through Ggreg, and when I answer it, you're on the group one. So that's what's weird, I think.
Well, we shall see. It's still early yet.
Yeah.
John's on. I'll see if I can add him to the call.
Okay.
You're going to miss Ferrandi, dude.
I know. Every other year.
I don't think it really matters, though, right?
No, not really. They got snow, though, ironically.
That usually helps the snow sculpture competition.
Yeah. I remember last year the ice sculptures were all melting.
Hola.
Hey,
Hola.
John. Look at that.
Hey, guys.
This is smooth.
Let's hurry up
It's like we're in the same room.
Let's hurry up while it's all working.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was just so we can address why we haven't been posting any episodes. Last week we attempted twice, and none of it really. It was a lot of very choppy. We were having internet issues.
Yeah, I think the world was, though, because I talked to other people that said that.
It's not us, it's them.
It's the world.
Clearly.
It's the alignment of the planets, I think, messing with the Wi-Fi.
Something.
I believe you. It's flat Wi-Fi. If the world was round, this would work.
Oh yeah? You're a flat earther now?
Yeah, well, not really. But I'm not sure the benefits of a flat Earth, but it would definitely sell more rollerblades.
It would be more, it'd be line of sight, right?
Right.
You'd be able to see all the way to the other end without the curvature of the Earth, which that gets in the way of being able to see all the way to Russia.
That is correct.
So you're still in Costa Rica, right, Becker?
Yes, I am.
And you're solo.
Yes, this is when I do all my work on magic and do all kinds of weird stuff. So I definitely am staying within that trend.
So like,
how do you work on magic? Do you just like spend a lot of time alone, just flipping cards?
Well, what you do is you come up with what you want to do. Like if I want to do torn and restored card or do, anything like that, you just come up with that and then you just don't have any distractions and you work on it for like 12 or 13 hours.
Can you guys hear the wind around my house? Like the wind is whipping and I feel like I'm in a wind tunnel.
No, that's the act that Becker's working on.
Yeah, that's my trick.
Wind conjuring act?
Yeah.
That's impressive. I think you've nailed it.
Thank you. Actually, what's really funny is it would have been Thursday night, Friday morning. We had a windstorm come, which is known as like the Papagayo winds or whatever they are. And it's when the Caribbean winds hit something and this and that. It's all part of El Nino. And,
it's common enough occurrence that they have a name for it.
Yeah. But I think, the year that the wedding year when you're down here, when we had those big winds, that was like that. This was unbelievable by my standards. It was like a 5-hour hurricane, 100+ mile-an-hour winds hitting the house.
So what do you do during that, Becker?
What's funny is I'm pretty lighthearted and I'm down here by myself, so I don't have to impress anyone. I turned everything off and stood in the bathroom doorway, and halfway through it, I went, I don't know that I should be in the house. But then the alternative was to get in the car and drive somewhere and have a tree fall on me.
Yeah.
So I said, I guess I'm just riding it out. But honest to God, it was kind of scary. It did some stuff. Some floor tiles cracked from the house moving.
I mean, I'm not a weatherman or any kind of meteorologist, not by any stretch of the imagination, but I think driving away is the last resort, maybe during a fire or like a UFO invasion or some instance where you need to get the fuck out of there. I don't think during a windstorm, there's just too much that you could be running into. Downed power lines, trees, and then you're stuck.
Yeah, that was kind of my choices. It was impressive though. The house was moving, man. It was like the back wall was just catching it, and it was just going boom, and the ceiling lights were swinging, and I'm standing in the doorway going, I don't think I mean, this is bad. This is really bad.
Don't you have the roll down window protection?
I did. Yeah, I had those down in the front, but it was hitting the back of the house. They'll come from any direction.
I'm pretty sure you're just supposed to get drunk and sleep in the bathtub when that happens.
See, the problem was I'd already gotten drunk, and now I'm going.
hence the idea to drive.
Yeah, well, I wasn't worried about a cop blowing by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be one real dick cop thinking like in 100 plus mile an hour winds that you're weaving.
Yeah. I couldn't help but notice your car was all over the place.
I saw you, yeah.
But then when you wake up and your car is wrapped around a tree, you can just be like, yeah, the wind pushed the car right into the tree. Wasn't my fault.
That's a great excuse. I was waiting for chickens and stuff to blow in the yard, but to tell you the truth, it was about as scary thing as I think I've gone through in quite a while. It was, our house was built, pretty good by, an American that lives down here. And, I felt good about it, but I didn't feel great about it.
You stayed on the lower level.
No, the house was really like taking the brunt of it. It was like going, cause we're up on a hill and it was like boom, boom. And for the first 2 hours you go, all right, this will let up. The next 2 hours I was like, fuck. I have one recording I made of like at 3 a.m. going, it's 3 a.m. The wind is unbelievable. And you could just hear it in my voice. I'm going, I was just about done. And at 3:21, I laid down and went to bed. It finally quit. But it was. If
you would have disappeared in the wind, we would have played that recording on the podcast. This is Becker's, his last known recording.
It'd be like the worst Blair Witch Project. It's just wind.
Yeah, it was, I was at the point where I was moving stuff going, okay, if the roof falls in, what should I move? Put the laptop underneath the counter. I was doing that kind of shit.
Save the laptop?
I had nothing but time. Well, then I went, I should have the cell phone on me because if it's somewhere and this fucking place tips over, then it could be lost in the rubble or I could be lost in the rubble. I'd be like, I don't know what to do. I really didn't know. I was just going to stand out on the plateau and let the wind whip me. But yeah. So, John, I hope your wind isn't as bad.
It's not quite that bad.
Yeah, this seems like an ordeal.
Yeah,
I'm always worried that our barbecue is going to fall off the back deck, but other than that, I think we should be okay.
Yeah.
Like, don't you have a rail around your deck?
Yeah, but then there's a little opening in the rail, and the barbecue's the wind has pushed it. It's like the wind is lining it up to push it off the deck over the last couple of months. It's just been slowly pushing it closer and closer to the edge. It's
like those rocks out in the in Death Valley that have slowly skid across the floor.
I could always go out there and move it back to where it was, but who am I to get in the way of nature?
Well, yeah, you don't want to somehow change the that's the butterfly effect. You'll change something else. There'll be a huge typhoon in Guam because you did that.
You could put something underneath the wheels, John.
Or take the wheels off.
What am I, a handyman, Becker? Do you want me to go buy some tools?
No, go down, get a gun, and shoot the wheels off like an American. Come on, John.
John, I've been down here fixing stuff all week, and I'm telling you what, all you do, John, is drill a hole in one of the wheels and stick a nail in it, and it won't move. You're fine. See? That's how quick I fix things now.
That's pretty handy.
That's a good one.
Use that.
So, John, I know you don't have the wind whipping down like in Costa Rica, but I heard you just got some snow out there.
Yeah, I guess we got a very small amount of snow.
So things aren't back to normal.
No, it's still. I think it's been 40 degrees out every day. The snow's pretty much all melted.
Yeah.
What are you, North Carolina?
I get 90% of the news stories on ADN have all been about cars driving and falling through the ice on lakes and rivers.
Because in the winter, people are used to driving on the thick ice. I
guess so. I don't know who's doing that.
I know out in Big Lake, when we stayed out there one summer, we stayed at some guy's house, that the only way to get to his cabin, which is a pretty large place, is either by boat or wait until the winter and then drive everything over from, the lumber yard. I mean, that's when he brings over big amounts of construction materials is in the winter, but the ice has to be thick enough for that. And it usually is that you could drive over, cement and all the lumber you're going to need to build for the next summer.
Yeah. We, a couple of the video people I work with just made a video about ice road racing, where they race out on Big Lake in trucks and just like they make a big track. So I guess the ice has been fine, but not everywhere. And if you go to ADN, they have a video of a tow truck pulling out a truck, because I don't know if that's news, but you can watch that happen.
I've seen less interesting things on YouTube and ADN.
So I don't know. I don't know if winter's over. It seems pretty early for spring, but...
Well, your winter carnival is just beginning in 2 days. Fur Rondy up in Anchorage starts February 26th to March 6th. So...
Yeah, so the guy in the wolf hat is going to have a real sweaty head, because it's probably going to be like 60 degrees.
He's going to have his wolf head and then a mesh tank top and Bermuda shorts. The new face of Fur Rondy. John, are you covering anything for Fur Rondy? Becker won't be back in time, but are you going to cover anything?
We're just working on Iditarod stuff. We're kind of working on a video series about mushing, and so we'll be down there for the start of the Iditarod.
They're still doing
we might go down.
Are they still going to do the unofficial, the ceremonial start right down there on 4th Avenue in Anchorage, downtown Anchorage?
Yeah, and from what I've heard, they're starting like the actual start of the race in Willow, which isn't too far away. So there must be snow further up north.
Yeah,
Anchorage is just in like a hot bubble.
Out in the real Alaska, away from Anchorage.
Yeah.
Right. Well, didn't Alaska got like 45 inches of snow, didn't they?
Yeah, they had to like shut down for the day because they had too much snow.
How bad is that?
It's ironic that a ski resort is shut down because of too much snow, which isn't that much snow in the grand scheme of things. I mean, they should be able to handle snow, right? Isn't that what they do for a living?
Well, they probably laid everybody off.
They
had to call them and go, how soon can you get back from Hawaii?
They sold all their snow shovels because they've had such bad seasons the last couple of years.
They beat their snow shovels into barbecue steaks. Well,
I've always said Alaska should just become a big water slide. I think they could still stay alive if they just did that.
Well, that's one of their biggest events of the year is basically kind of a water slide, right? When they do the
slush cup.
Yeah, the slush.
Mm-hmm.
So careful what you ask for. Boy, it'd be great if we could do this more often. This is a moneymaker. Well, I've been, last week when we tried to podcast, obviously, I was sick. I'm on cough drops now.
You moved up.
Yeah. Well, the doctor told me, that the Dayquil he looked at me like I was, some kind of a witch doctor saying, I was taking Dayquil, and his professional opinion was, 100 ounces of water a day, which that's a fucking lot of water. I never did it because he's told me I didn't have any kind of infection or I wasn't getting pneumonia or anything. So it was just a matter of time. I didn't drink as much as I usually do, but,
you know what's crazy? Like you could probably drink 100 ounces of beer a day throughout the day.
Yes. And it wouldn't be punishment at all.
No,
but 100 ounces of water, like that's not even humanly possible.
Well, it's funny when you put it in those terms. Yeah, you're probably right. What he should have said was, do you think you could drink 100 ounces of beer? And I'd go, that's the weirdest, like, fucking prescription from a medical doctor. But yeah, I could drink 100 ounces of beer. And then he switches on me. He goes, good. Drink 100 ounces of water and you'll be fine, fucking pussy. That probably I needed some tough love.
Who's your doctor, Newt Rockney?
I swear to God, my doctor. I got a last minute, like they called me and said, "Hey, we got an opening today. Can you come in?" And it's right down the street. So I said, "Yeah, great," because it was going to be another week and a half. So I go in and it's not my regular doctor. And the guy walked in. He's a fucking dead ringer for Borat. And now I'm thinking, we're getting ready to do this this filming out here, and I'm thinking, is Doug fucking doing something with, I'm looking for fucking GoPros in the corner and in the fucking tongue depressor fucking container. Yeah, it was, well, for a guy who comes in that I don't know, that looks like Borat and tells me just to drink water and to, keep spending money and wasting it on Dayquil if you want, but I just say drink water.
That's a very odd thing. Are you sure he's a real doctor?
Well,
on the side of the RV, did it have a diploma?
Why do you assume I went to some fucking Safeway parking lot health fair? This was a building.
You said he wasn't there before, but he's there now.
Well,
so, I assume he drives around in the van.
Just looking for people to, hey, do you need some help?
Yeah.
No, it's the Chiricahua Healthcare Center out here. It's right down the street.
Was he a patient? Then maybe just stole some scrubs.
The thing is,
you got to make sure they're wearing underwear. You got to make sure your doctor's wearing underwear, because if he's a patient, probably not wearing underwear.
I guess that's the thing to ask.
Stole some scrubs.
Well, he did. He just walked in. He didn't have. I mean, he did know where the hand sanitizer was right when he came in. So that was okay. That was it for me. That was it. You're right, because he didn't have the stethoscope around his neck. He didn't have a white lab coat on, which, by the way, we bought all that shit for the things we were filming for Doug's pilot presentation. We had lab coats here. We had stethoscopes. We had one of those fucking.
You were more doctor-like than the doctor?
I had a better outfit than he did for our.
How long into the consultation did he try to check your prostate? Like, was it right away? Did he ask a couple of questions?
I'm turning 50 next week, and I've had one prostate exam, and it was a blood test. You don't need the digital manipulation to get that. But if he would have said, "Hey, we should do this now," since I was there, I'd have gone, "Well, the muffins are on sale. Let's get a 6-pack of muffins." I would have done it out of convenience, but that wasn't it. His only prescription was water, John.
Well, yeah, after 100 gallons of water, you need a goddamn Gallagher thing to do a prostate.
Yeah, really. He comes in wearing, I'll be right back. You drink the 100 ounces of water, and then he comes back in with a plastic bag as a raincoat. All right, let's do this. Yeah, no prostate exam for me.
Drinking that much water is a lot of work. So you get some plastic tubing, you get a funnel and a bucket, and you bend over. That's how you get your 100 ounces of water a day. It takes you like 2 minutes.
No, I've done the water, not the water. I don't want to say a water bottle, because the water bottle looks like, the Evian bottle or something. I've done what do they call it? The hot water bottle, the old timey ones, the red ones with the weird funnel.
The enema?
Yeah, I've done an enema with one of those before. That's
a butt chug.
A butt chug.
Why did you do that?
I love their donuts, but I hate.
I did it because I was reading something about some guy advocates doing a lot of them, but I didn't fall in with him. It was a thing where I wanted to see if that would help clear me out a little bit. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, I think if you put more stuff in you, yeah, you'll be.
It is. I got to tell you, it's an alarming amount of water that hot water bottle holds. Is that what it's called, Becker? You know what I'm talking about, right? It's like
I know exactly. Yeah. I see them at garage sales all the time.
Which is the weirdest thing, right?
Yeah.
Who wants that? I mean, I guess if you're buying for props or something, but you can get them for like $6.
I had no idea those were used for enemas.
You didn't know that?
Yeah.
No.
Well, the beauty of it is it's a gravity feed. I guess I
can't think of another use for them.
A freezer pack.
Freezer pack. And they used to put hot water in them, and there's a screw top that keeps it nice and watertight. And you would put that in. You put hot water in there because it can handle the hot water, and then you would put that like at your feet when you're going to bed at night, or I guess up near the pillow. I don't know.
Up and in between.
Maybe at the other end where there's no olfactory sensation.
Huh. Well, now I need an electric blanket that actually connects to my Wi-Fi that I can control with an app.
They have
those.
A
lot more user friendly.
Are you seriously looking into an app controlled blanket, John? Is it that cold there?
I mean, I don't know, but if that's not an invention yet, I might get working on that. Because they have Christmas lights that connect with apps. Becker, I'm surprised you don't have the Christmas lights that you can control from your iPad.
I do.
Oh, there. See?
Yeah. No, I told you I got the Illumi light bulb, the $65 light bulb that has all sorts of different colors and a couple of different features. Yeah, I told you about that. It has a circadian feature so that the light changes throughout the day. So it gets brighter in the middle of the day, like it's like high noon. And the light bulb can tell what time it is.
But you live in Arizona. Like, you have pretty steady sunlight, like, throughout the year. Why do you need that?
Not in my room, John. I have a roof.
All right.
That was an impulse buy. It was a Shark Tank. Shark Tank, man. Shark Tank is one step away from that whole fucking as seen on TV where you're, like, convinced you should have it.
Actually, it's exactly as seen on TV if you own everything you see on Shark Tank.
I've never watched an episode of Shark Tank, but do they like give you the information on like how to buy it afterwards?
No, you Google it.
Yeah, you Google it as it's going on, and you try and figure out, like, before you Google it, you try and figure out if did this thing really happen? Did this because both the investors and the inventors, there is a clause of due diligence right after the show that they can pull out. Either of them can decide against it. And there are cases of that. And there's websites that just do follow-ups on, inventors that have brought something in and was completely panned and they end up making $1 million, or something that, that actually was assisted by, being on Shark Tank. And that's kind of fun.
Do you think Shark Tank gets like a kickback either way if they like pan it and it fails on Shark Tank, but then it still goes on to make a bunch of money? Do you think the producers get like money for exposure?
That's a great question, because I kept thinking, wait a minute, what do the producers of the show, not the sharks, what do the producers get out of this? Well, I read that there is a clause in the contract that if the item that you're bringing in is picked up and it's successful because of the sharks' input, so it goes through the whole process, the production company gets a piece of that action in perpetuity. So that is something that they were smart enough in the beginning to go, look, someone's going to make $1 million here or billions. We should fucking be a part of this. And that changes everything, because now look how many people are cut in on this with a guy who brings a great idea, and the sharks get a piece. And they're throwing around, 20%, 30%. I want full control, or I'm gonna do piecemeal, or whatever the fucking stupid Kevin's deals are. But then also realize that there's also other people that are on the inventor's side that get a piece of that. And now the production company gets a piece of that. Now it's better to have a small piece of a watermelon than nothing,
So I read something about American Idol and how even not the winners like have to sign a contract to producers that whatever they produce, like American Idol gets a cut of for a certain amount of years.
Yeah, it's probably,
so you could go on that show and they could rip you apart, and then like if you go on to like make some sort of career out of singing or whatever at state fairs, you still have to like send them a percentage of your earnings.
It probably has something more to do with the exposure gets them some kind of representation, and then that representation, especially early on, they might end up having to buy out the contract. So that there's just a clause. Cause I mean, you look at some of the people that have gone on to actually do something, they haven't actually won the competition. I mean, look at that guy, Doherty or whatever his name is. Sings that one song about coming home. It's on everything that has to do with any vets or, one of those things where the soldier comes home and surprises his family on the ball field. They're always playing that coming home song. I mean, that he didn't even win.
No, and that they're all under contract. They don't give you the exposure for free. And that was the same with Shark Tank. They did that with one guy was on, and one of the, I think it was Mark Cuban. He comes up and goes, I think you're just here to pitch your idea and you don't want to make a deal. You just want to use the exposure.
Yeah.
And he called him out on it.
Mark Cuban used to, I mean, right now it's like there's so many episodes. It seems like it's always on. It's like Law and Order, but there are so many episodes. You can see Mark Cuban used to be a real prick, with some of the deals that he would do. And I think he's kind of softened up a little bit, because that's what I do. Like I bought 2 things from watching Shark Tank, and that was I told you guys, the Mission Belt, which is still fucking, that was Damon who bought into that thing. That thing's awesome. It's a ratchet belt, so there's no holes, and it's completely adjustable.
I'm wearing it right now on your recommendation.
Oh, do you have one, John?
Yeah.
All right. I make a percentage of that because I made a deal with the production company that actually did. But and then the Illumi light, I got that, and that was kind of an impulse thing, but still kind of fun. I want to hook up the house with a lot of different little Wi-Fi enabled things so that when I'm gone, I can have Bingo go into the house and go, "Hey, Bingo, can you just check?" And then I can turn the lights on and off, and I think that's funny.
That's hysterical.
Because she won't know.
So you're basically building a Wi-Fi haunted house, and you're
exactly. I mean, this is the suicide house. I know there's been at least one death there, and if I go downstairs and I see how this house was built, there had to be other people that died in there.
I thought I had free time.
I was down and out for 10 days. There was a lot of thinking going on. A lot of solving problems. Yeah, I don't know if you guys realized what was going on here. We had that we called them Two Live Crew. There were two guys from Johnny Depp's crew came out and were filming that pilot that Hennigan and Doug and Johnny Depp had put together over the last couple of years. And John, I've never really been on a shoot before. Boy, there's a lot of fucking doing nothing. A lot of standing around. Yeah,
if you're not the person holding the camera and shooting stuff, you're not in front of it the whole time. Is the pilot going to be like a 30-minute show, or was it like a short thing? Maybe
you can help me out because Doug doesn't really like giving explanations. Yeah, fuck it. It's
let me explain.
I go, hey, we were talking about it on the podcast, and I go, hey, do you want to explain what a presentation pilot is? And he goes, nope. And all right, well, I guess I'll read about it in the papers like everyone else. But it is it's kind of a proof of concept thing. It's like Doug and Johnny Depp and Hennigan have thought of this idea for a show, but then they come up with these concepts and they lace it all together. And then they'll show that won't be on YouTube or on TV or anything. No. This will be shown to people.
Take it to companies.
Exactly. And then they'll
it's like a living storyboard.
Exactly. That's a good example. A living storyboard. And it has funny bits in it. It's not like it's a radio edit. Like there's nothing good in it. And it's all shot on location here. And then there's some other stuff they're doing in LA. And it was fucking a blast hanging out here. I was sick for the week up to when they got here, and I was just feeling better when they arrived. So I only had one thing I had like on camera, and everything else was behind the scenes stuff. But it was fun, man. And now we're fucking hot for doing some other shit here on our own.
So my question is, are you going to be a recurring character when this show gets picked up?
Well, I don't know if anyone is going to be a character when this thing gets picked up. It's really just the concept and then what they want to do with it, you know. But we had some fucking characters. It was Bisbee all over the place. We had a ton of people from Bisbee show up and help out. So Doug put everyone in town that he could think of that was relevant to the bit.
How'd Kenny do?
It was great. Kenny actually Kenny and Derek and Tracy were all paid PAs. So we didn't have a huge budget, but we had a budget. It was fun. And then that's why, I talked about it a lot. We talked about it in the podcast before it happened, and then I posted some pictures, but it was, I couldn't post a lot of stuff.
And you guys are going to start, are you going to start filming Doug's podcast or,
no,
the impromptu comedy shows you guys are doing down there?
I think we're talking about that right now is, really like, right now, you even asked me today, it's like, hey, should we put the recliners back and take the stage out? And I'm like, fuck no, man. Keep that stage there. We could have fucking, we got two fucking notable people, two separate guests coming in next week. I don't want to keep fucking breaking that stage down and putting it back up. So, yeah, now we can do anything. And now we got those GoPros that you helped us get. And then, we're going to do some more stuff. And off mic, well, I have a couple questions for you too, John.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, fun week, man.
Sweet.
It's going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
I've been working on my movie. That was the one thing I've been working on, this last week was, my short animated film.
Animated?
Well, it's stop action, but yeah, it's animated.
All right.
Yeah, it's Tico and the Man.
Tico and the Man? Is that a takeoff on Chico and the Man with Freddie Prinze?
I've never heard of what you're talking about.
Oh, okay.
But,
neither have I. Neither have I. Strike that from the record.
I honestly haven't. So.
Oh, good.
Well, looks like you're marketing to the millennials.
So, it's a story about a guy who comes down to Costa Rica, doesn't speak Spanish, and then works with the locals. And it's pretty good, actually.
And is it claymation, or do you have like G.I. Joes and Barbies?
I have actual figures that were crafted for me. And they were expensive, but it's all.
Well, it's worth it.
All good. It's worth it. Once you see the quality that it is, it's amazing, actually. And I've been doing different locations, so
sure.
It's all.
Sounds like a story that needs to be told.
I'm going to go to the casino on Sunday and go shoot some stuff there.
They'll love that.
Well, yeah, no, they got no problem with it. It's just for tax purposes, just so we have proof that I did go there and I did shoot on location.
Sure.
So, yeah. Mm-hmm. It's all tax deductible now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I look forward to seeing that. Is this going to be a straight to YouTube release?
I think it'll probably, unless I can slip it on the back end of somebody's Netflix film.
Somehow do the closing credits?
Just kind of slip it right there. I think that's... Where did The Simpsons came off of?
That was a Tracy Ullman show, wasn't it?
Yeah, Tracy Ullman. Yeah. Yeah, I might just slip it into a Tracy Ullman show.
She might take your call. It's been a while for her.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything with her.
Yeah, where's Tracy Ullman? So one thing I've been watching a lot of, I know every other podcast has a conversation about sex robots, but this is about robots that aren't of the sex variety.
Hold on. There's another variety of robot besides the sex?
I know.
What do you do? Just hang out and have coffee?
Is it before they install the sex component? Is that what you're talking about? An unfinished robot? Is that what you're talking about?
I mean, every robot could be a sex robot, depending on what you're into, but this isn't specifically a sex robot.
Okay.
But I think it was like Boston Dynamics just released a video of Atlas, their like new robot, and it's just a video of it like walking around and walking through the woods, and then like halfway through the video, they just have a guy start like poking it with a hockey stick and like a bigger like knocking it over.
Yeah, like using like a pole and like pushing it, right?
Yeah, to show that it can balance or that it can, I don't know, take abuse. And it's sad. I don't know why it's sad, because it's a machine that is they're doing a test by knocking it over, but it makes me sad inside because the guy who's like knocking it over looks like he's having a lot of fun.
Like a bully. Like a robot bully.
Bullying.
But it's an actual person knocking the robot down.
Yeah.
They couldn't get a robot that could knock a robot down?
If they did, it'd be a lot more fun to watch. It'd be like Robot Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that one of the tenets of robots? Is to do no harm?
Well, it sounds like just a pacifist.
Like Isaac Asimov had some kind of the three rules of a robot.
I think they're not allowed to harm people. They can fight each other all they want. There's lots of robot fighting.
This guy keeps knocking it with a stick to knock it over. And by the way, also, there's got to be in a control room somewhere the guy who like built this robot just weeping, going, "What are you doing?" Like he's a little bit too emotionally attached, too close to the project.
And not just knocking it over. There's a point where they have the robot like picking up a box and standing up, and the guy just keeps knocking the box out of its hands.
Yeah, it's like Godzilla and Giant Robot.
Maybe because I got picked on in high school.
It's sad just the way you described it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that thing's
I relate to this robot in a big way.
That thing's going to end up a sex robot.
So at one point you feel bad for it, but then you see it stand up, and it's kind of scary the way it stands up, and you're reminded that robots are going to murder all of us within like 10 years.
Like you can see the power in this thing. He's just not using it.
Yeah, he's just a baby robot. He doesn't understand. And then the end of the video is my favorite part. You got to watch it, because at the end of the video, they just show the robot like walking out again. It just like walks outside. It's like, I'm done with this shit. I'm sick of this. I'm sick of this test.
Maybe this is an unsexed robot, and this is the way the human pimp beats down the robot to become his robot prostitute.
It's a tragic story.
Hey, man, you new to the city? And give him a poke. Hey, man, you hungry? Must be rough. No friends, huh? No friends? Hey, come over here. I can help you out. You need a little cash? You need some oil? You all right?
I think you are a pimp robot guy. That's pretty good.
You really painted the picture well.
Yeah.
Well, look, these sex robots become sex robots somehow, right? Coming from a small town, get on the bus, they think they're going to make it. They get in the big city, and all of a sudden they're all alone.
Next thing you know, they're working as a garbage disposal.
Yeah.
I was supposed to work for IBM. Yeah. Get under the sink.
Boy, I hear that every week. Get under the sink. Get down there. Look up and open your mouth.
Hey, garbage disposals don't talk. Shut up.
Hey, I know you've been only doing this for a week, but I think I got another way you can make money. It's kind of the same thing.
This is
You'll be
not at all how I imagine the future.
You'll be crouching.
Hey, would you like the plane ticket home, buddy? I can help you out with a plane ticket home, and you won't have to fly in cargo this time.
Hey, John, that name sounds familiar. The company you said that produced the video. Didn't they have the one that was a 4-legged robot that would be running along and like up and then someone would kick it and knock it down and it would stutter?
Yeah, that one's maybe even more upsetting because that robot kind of reminds you of an animal.
Yeah,
that was they based it on a goat, didn't they?
It looked like a pig goat because it had a real the body itself was pretty stout. I mean, it had to be all the servos and everything that's got going. And I believe that one was battery operated.
It's called Alpha Dog.
Yeah, and, that's right.
They modeled after kicking a bunch of real dogs.
Yeah, it seems like they should have had that Sarah McLachlan song playing in the background as they're kicking it.
I would meet the guy who works there going, "Hey, who do we get to kick that Alpha Dog? Get that guy to hit the thing with the stick."
I know. I'd want like a hood on or something. I wouldn't want anyone knowing it was me beating the shit out of a pig dog Alpha.
I wouldn't want the robots to know because they're going to be able to watch YouTube and you're going to be the first one.
That's footage.
And as soon as these robots take over, you're gonna see YouTube videos of that guy just like robots just poking him with a stick and kicking him, not letting him back up.
You're the face of robot abuse. Beginning. You're patient zero.
Yeah.
Yeah, John. I'm sorry that you're involved in this now, John. I hope Becker and I don't have to distance ourselves.
The robots could appreciate him and realize that was the guy who taught them that humans are awful, and that's why they took over the world and murdered us, and he just has to watch them murder everyone he loves.
Yeah, but he's going to die the worst. They'll be like, how'd he die from an aqua pick? You're not going to like it.
Your explanation sounds like the defense. Look, yes, sure, this was really the first step, but isn't this really the person who showed you not to trust us?
Yeah, and then the defense lawyer comes out. He's a robot. He's like, "Come on, it's just robots being robots. Come on." It's the way the guy was dressed.
I'm just a small town robot lawyer. I don't know about your big city ways. Yeah, these Boston Dynamics guys are a bunch of assholes, and they're making terrifying robots.
Did they make the Roomba?
Yes.
They did. Yeah, I think they did. I think they did make it.
Does anybody have a Roomba? I've never been to somebody's house when they have a Roomba. Do you have one, Becker?
I don't. That's the one thing I just draw a line on. I just go, no robot vacuum cleaners. That's why you have a wife.
My brother and his wife had one. I'm trying to remember. I think it was when they lived in North Hollywood. They had wood floors, and that thing would just roll around all day. But it's tough when you got a dog.
Yeah.
And the dog's in the house all day. You don't want that thing rolling around. I
guess. If you're in California too, you're like, like you got a maid and she's watching this thing do her work. And there's no way. It's like, I don't know, senor, break.
She starts kicking it, trying to knock it over.
She's taking a hockey stick, knocking it over, it stands back up.
Yeah, that's the Roomba.
I feel like a regular vacuum that has, that is built specifically to just vacuum. Those last usually only like 3 months before they break and start making a weird noise. But then you attach a robot to it that has to like monitor your house and think for itself. That's too much. That's not going to work for more than a day.
I have a riding vacuum, and quite frankly, I'll never go back to the old handheld.
You have a riding vacuum? You get on it like a riding mower?
Yeah, and you just ride around and it does that 180 swivel. Yeah. It's fucking great.
Your house doesn't even have carpet. You have like 1 6-foot rug. You would start up your riding vacuum and be done. No,
yeah. He has one very clean 6-foot rug.
You mean the drag strip? Yeah.
That's interesting because I am in the market for a vacuum. And I just feel like that is the quickest way to buyer's remorse is throwing down money on a vacuum. Because the best vacuum I ever had was when I lived in Bellevue, Washington, and I had a little apartment, and there was a guy who had a Kirby vacuum repair shop at the bottom of the apartment complex, and he'd been there since like the 70s. And I bought a Kirby from him, and this thing looked like it was from the 60s. It really did, and it worked great. And
so it drank and fucked its secretaries.
It was just stout. And he said the reason is the motors in the old Kirby's are way more powerful and totally repairable than anything that they make these days. And this was before Dyson, but it was one of because I don't have a Dyson, but I assume those are different technology. But that Kirby was awesome. I can't fucking believe I got rid of that.
Alien technology. I had an Auric at a place I lived for a while, and that was pretty great. It was like somebody straight up stole it from a hotel.
Oh, like an industrial one.
Because it said property of which hotel?
It was a Super 8 from Albuquerque. I don't know how it got up here, but that thing was awesome. Every other vacuum I've ever owned has lasted 4 months max before everything started falling apart.
The vacuum we use right now, we have wood floors, but we are laminate floors, and we have some throw rugs. And I just got some Persian rugs too out of my storage. So we got a reason to get a vacuum. But the one we have is like a little devil or something. It's like what they used to call the electric broom. It's a long, skinny one, and it basically just has
dirt.
Yeah, exactly. It has a in the front of it. It's an angled fucking the thing that touches the floor has an angle, like a point on it, and it really has something down there like rubber teeth or something that kind of just pushes the dirt. It's almost like a very inefficient broom. And then when you push it one way, it pushes all the hair and dirt forward, and when you pull back, then you just see this big like lumpy caterpillar of dirt and hair. And then you end up just picking that up, and it's not very efficient at all.
Wait. Is this motorized or is it just like a push thing?
It's motorized, but you could do the same not plugging it in. Just kind of pushing it across, So I've been looking, and I noticed yesterday I saw those at Bed Bath & Beyond, they had those Dysons that look like a long stick. And then they have the motor at the back where you're holding it. But it doesn't seem... Oh, yeah. That doesn't look like it's going to work for a long time.
Plug it. Do it right in the store. Plug it in and go see if you can suck up stuff.
Just crunch up.
I don't trust Dyson. Dyson is just, they're too innovative, and it doesn't make sense to me. Like, they're trying too hard. Their vacuums are too cool.
What do you mean too innovative?
They're too innovative. I don't know.
Like the Model T was too innovative over the horse and buggy, so it's never going to work?
Well, they come up with these like bladeless fans and those hand dryers that you see in like airports where you like just stick your hands in between these two blades.
Oh, you put your hand in there?
Yeah, totally. How have you been doing
in the bathroom? I thought it was.
I thought it was for the other. Never mind.
Whatever. Yeah, I guess I'll use my hands next time. Those the Dyson Blade. That's the air dryer for your hands. The most powerful air dryer on the market. You don't think those work, John? It's too innovative?
No, it's too innovative. I feel like there's some like nefarious plot going on. Like, I mean, I don't know.
To dry your hands?
The Nazis were very innovative. The Nazis had a lot of technology that they developed for nefarious reasons, and I think maybe Dyson is hiding something.
Weren't the Nazis behind Volkswagen? I mean, not to...
Yeah. How's Volkswagen doing?
Well, they were very innovative in the way that they assessed their gas mileage.
Still making 2-seaters. If that tells you anything.
So you don't trust the air blade.
Their vacuums, it looks like the Dyson vacuum would break and you would never know how to fix it. There's not even you wouldn't even know where to start.
Well, listen.
And now they have these vacuums that don't even have wheels. It's like a ball.
Well, it's just a different wheel, right? Come on, John.
It's efficient. It's efficiency, John. That's the wave of the future, efficiency. They said they think white collar jobs now, they think they're going to wipe them out now with automation. Like architects, they go, you'll just say what you want, it'll do it. And then the 3D printing, building printing they're doing now with concrete, you'll never have a concrete guy. People are just going to get up out of bed, check their email, and go back.
What's wrong with that?
Is that not what people already do? That's what I do.
I mean, what's wrong with having other more efficient ways to do things, as long as they're safer and they're better quality and not too innovative, right, John? Not too innovative to scare people.
Not too innovative.
But the thing is we're going to end up just without jobs. We're just going to sit around going, I don't know how I'm going to pay my bills now because I've been replaced.
Well, reduce.
I guess I'm getting older, so I'm getting more and more afraid of the future.
Yeah.
I saw a picture the other day of a bunch of journalists at I think it's a mobile world conference where they're releasing new cell phones and stuff. And everybody in this giant conference room were wearing, virtual reality headsets. And it looked terrifying.
Wasn't Zuckerberg there? Wasn't that the photo? Zuckerberg was walking from the back of the theater towards the podium up front, and he's walking through this room, and everyone has their fucking Google glasses on.
Nobody knows what's happening around them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what a great place for a pickpocket.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I just don't like it. It reminds. I don't know if you guys have seen the Pixar movie WALL-E, where everyone is just in a seat that floats around.
No. Everyone's
just kind of like a helpless baby person.
Okay, I've seen things like that. Like Matrix style.
Yeah. It's basically real life, but I don't know. Virtual reality just seems terrifying to me, and I don't know why. I have one of those little cardboard headsets that you put your phone in, and it's cool for a minute. It doesn't seem like a good way to live.
Well, I don't think having a cardboard headset is really indicative of where the future is going, John.
It is. It is indicative.
Really?
It is the future. Like everything. No more movie theaters. No amusement parks. Everything is just it's a thing you experience through a headset. And they're also developing suits that give electrical impulses or vibrating feedback so you can feel things.
Yeah. Yeah. But John, I think you're scaring yourself with a limited view of what you put on one pair of Google cardboard headgear, and all of a sudden you're frightened for vacuums and hand dryers. I mean, I think you're connecting too many dots here. In the future, what happens in the future
I'm missing one link. There's one link that will tie all of this.
John,
and it's a sex robot.
What you're missing here, John, is the fact you're going to have this headset on. You can live in a dump. You can move into Detroit and live in a one bedroom, but as long as you keep your headset on, you live in a mansion.
Yeah, don't remove the headset, John. Once you remove the headset, you ruin everything. But what's wrong with being able to reduce the amount of hours we work? What about investing in more times to do your video projects or to learn a musical instrument? What happened to that? Why do we have to always work 40 fucking hours a week? Pretend to work 40 hours a week?
Why learn a musical instrument? You can just set loops on a computer.
Then do that. That's not easy. I've tried to do that before. You got to read a fucking manual.
They got an app that'll do it now.
Yeah.
Does it better.
It does it a lot better than you'll ever do it.
I don't know. I guess the future is just going to be humans making shitty things and being like, yeah, it's shitty, but you can tell a robot. No,
listen, you've already missed the whole point. Humans aren't going to be making shitty things. Humans are going to make robots that make shitty things, so that you can learn a musical instrument on the side, John.
Well, do you know where we're headed? We're headed down a road like athletes. They're just going to digitize them and have them play so they don't get hurt. That's far out space nuts. We talked about this already. Sid and Marty Krofft. Where the countries will elect their own robot to come in, and they will have them in Olympic style type games, and then the winner of the world will be the one who builds the best robot. Well, and look at in Brazil where they're going to have the Olympics, and they're all afraid to go down there now because of the Zika virus. So now, how about you just stay in your home country? We film you and we time you, and we put it all on one screen, and you don't have to leave. Stay in your home country. Yeah, no more Olympics.
Just like the old Atari Vision or Activision Olympics
anymore.
Yeah, they do.
No, they don't. Everyone's pissed off about the Olympics. Whenever it's in, London was pissed, Rio's pissed. Because it costs billions of dollars.
Yeah, but the people that are really pissed are the people that don't get it. I don't understand that. I don't know why anyone would want to do the Olympics.
I don't think it's not the people that it's the politicians that want the prestige of being the host of the Olympics, but the people that live in these cities don't want it.
No, certainly not. They're the ones that China. They round up everyone and move them out from where they live to somewhere else. Yeah,
and then there's places in the Middle East where they're doing the FIFA World Cup, and they have like slave labor building all the stadiums.
Yeah, in 110
degrees onto something with the virtual Olympics.
But yeah, I mean, you know how much it would cost if you built that with robots? It'd be expensive.
Well, now, but imagine how much cheaper robots are going to get once we're all having sex with them.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, it's just a trade-off. The future is going to be half of our world right now is amazing, and the other half is just falling apart. And
they lives in poverty.
It is.
It does.
I mean, it's amazing. And like all the 3D stuff, all this and printers and that's amazing. And then just simple, like ISIS just cutting people's heads off and chance you could die at the mall. It's the two worlds are just colliding. It's kind of amazing.
Well, I'm terrified of the future because of all the technological advances, but then I'm also terrified when I forget my phone at home and have to spend the day without my cell phone. So, I mean, the whole thing, I'm scared of the whole thing.
You know what I'm waiting for? I'm waiting for that solar flare that takes out all the electric grids. And everybody has to talk again.
I don't think that'll happen.
Oh, you don't think so?
Nah, the companies that, like Facebook and Google that rely on that grid will protect us from it. They're not going to lose money.
John, remember,
solar flare. Come on,
Becker.
Come on.
The reason Becker is concerned with people getting back to conversation on a daily basis is because he is in a Spanish-speaking country by himself for the third week, afraid of the wind and in the doorway of his bathroom. Okay.
Hey, stuff will kill you down here. Actually, you know what? 2 days ago, I wake up and what's laying on the pillow next to me? A goddamn scorpion.
Yeah.
About 5 inches long.
It just thought you looked lonely. It wanted to be your friend.
No, but he was asking me why I put my shoes up. And I said I put them up because I don't want to be like Ggreg and have to take them out every day. And I caught him. He's on the counter right now and he's pissed. He gets madder every day I don't feed him.
Yeah.
You know what I want to do with them? I want to tie a string on them and hang them over it like at the bar and then spin it. And then you have to do your shot while the scorpion's spinning around on a string.
Or?
No, I mean, you have to, no hands. You have to do a shot like you would
like a blowjob shot or something where you put your mouth over the shot glass and swing it back.
But he's busy spinning around like an oracle around your head. And you got to you got to time it right. You got to time it and go bam and get it.
Wait, the scorpion's attached to the glass?
No, he's hanging off a string.
He's hanging off a string. You have to get your head in there and then swing it back and then back down before he swings in your way to basically sting you.
Yep. Yeah. Cause if he hits you, he'll grab you, man. I already tested that part.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my idea of a drinking game for Costa Rica now.
Sounds good, but it sounds like you might not have a lot of friends. How are you going to explain that drinking game to the non-English speaking locals?
They'll probably be great at it. They'll be like, "Oh yeah, they hate my cologne." They'll use some cheap fucking third world cologne, and the thing will just die on the string. Oh, that was the other thing. Friday night they had a big. So that was Friday that night. Oh, so Saturday night. Saturday night the winds finally died down, and they had a big party festival DJ band thing going on right down the hill from me, and it was just blaring. And I go, I should really go down there. And then the later it got, the more it felt weird because I should have went earlier because now I'm going down late.
Is this at the soccer field that's down the road?
Yeah. Yeah, it just was popping. 200 people just jumping around, and I kept hearing it. So, I mean, it's really loud. So I'm like, all right. So I decide I'm going to go down. So I go down there, and I get the only guy there that speaks some English, and he comes up because my friend Mario wasn't down there. So I was like, okay. So I sit buying him beers, and we're sitting there talking. And it was pretty entertaining because he had run out of English and we still had beer. So
what do you do?
I told him, you should go dance. You should go dance. He went to go dance and I bailed and I got out of there. But it was very tricky because he's like, we could go drink. I go, we are drinking. But yeah, so that was my Saturday, yeah.
Was it like a little fiesta or something?
Yeah, it was just a party thing they did for the town or something. I don't know what. Again, like I said, he didn't know. He didn't have enough English to tell me. So
I think that's good that you get out, meet your neighbors.
Yeah, no, it was good. I needed to go there, but it was funny. I went late enough where everybody was hammered, so I was like, I don't even think they'll remember I was there now.
Are people talking about the Zika virus in Costa Rica? Because they just had 2 or 3 cases show up.
Yeah, they did. But did you know what they said is we have enough geckos and other bug-eating animals and bats that it's really cut down on the number of mosquitoes they're catching that have any kind of symptoms of anything. Huh. They eat so many bugs, they said, with all the wildlife down here that it pretty much keeps it under control.
What happens to the bats that are eating the Zika virus?
Apparently it doesn't transfer, I guess, because bats are scary anyway. They come out every night here, and they're amazing. I mean, if you could build a plane like a bat, you could win any war.
A plane like a bat?
Yeah, like if you made a plane that flew like a bat, I mean, I watch them at night and they zip around. They go through they're like the guy in the squirrel suit. They just go, and they're grabbing bugs the whole time they're doing this.
I mean, I've seen those old videos from like the turn of the 19th century where the guy will get up on the Eiffel Tower and start to flap. That looks like the construction that a bat uses.
Yeah, I don't know what he uses, but it's
like a big wing apparatus that you flap, right?
Right.
This is old black and white footage.
Da Vinci.
Yeah.
That was Da Vinci's design. I mean, yeah, I agree. They've been looking at birds for inspiration for a long time. It's time to look at the bat.
Time to go to bat. And the other thing is they're nocturnal, so it's not like they're flying around all day. Yeah.
Well, we had a bat situation here. I think we talked about it where they were up in the roof or inside the attic, and it's not an attic that we go into. It's basically at the other house, and there was a fucking hole that was up at the eave, and it looked like about if you take your finger, your pointy finger, and touch it to the end of your thumb, and that hole, reduce that by half. That's about the size that was there, and we're looking at it like looking up 8 feet. And we're like, there's bat droppings down at the base, and we're looking up and seeing that hole. What the fuck? And Derek took a hose and stuck it to where it could get water in that hole, and about 12 bats flew out of that fucking hole. Could not believe it. Could not, and I never would have guessed that a bat could fit in there. And when we had the Truly Nolan pest control guy come out, and he goes, "Oh yeah, that's the spot right there." Because I didn't tell him where it was. I go, we think they're getting in the roof somewhere. And the guy went right to it. He goes, "That hole right there, you gotta move that siding, that metal siding over, and make that hole disappear, because they can easily get into that hole." And that's exactly where they came out of.
Wow. So
Ggreg, you chased them away. That was like your Batman starter pack right there.
You don't want them in your house, dude. You do not want them in your house, because all they do is shit and piss, and they'll just keep coming back.
Would you plug the hole?
You make sure they're gone. So at nighttime, you get it closed up somehow, so you don't keep them trapped up there.
What do you advertise? Say like, "Hey, bat happy hour, don't miss it."
They find a way to get in, man. The guy was really fucking cool. He's actually a fan of Doug, so he did everything for free. But he goes, "Yeah, just putty that up, put some like foam or something in there. As long as they can't easily get in, they'll go somewhere else."
Wow.
But I mean, we want to put a bat, like I was gonna say a bat cave. We want to put a bat house up here. Tracy wants to do that. And they're like they look like bird houses, but instead of having a hole at the top where the bird goes in, you just leave the bottom open, and they'll just go up there and roost.
Well, it sounds like you got 12 bats that are homeless now.
Yeah. But it's good because they do control the bug population. They eat a shit ton of bugs.
While you're at it, you could start a scorpion house, and you just leave your shoes in the middle of the floor, and don't check them.
Just bury some shoes right up to where you put your foot in. Yeah.
You know what else I got? I got a baby stick bug. He's like about a 1/4 inch long.
Are you keeping him, or are you raising him to fight the scorpion?
I have him in a cage at I have a little bug playground, and I put him in there. But I don't know what he eats, and the internet was down for the last day, so I didn't know how to go. That's when you realize you just live off the grid. There is when you're just like. So I'm going outside picking stuff up and putting it in his cage, and he looks at it, looks at me, and then keeps walking. I go, okay, he doesn't like that. So I just been testing him.
You are what you eat. You eat sticks.
Becker's preparing small little meals with a little dome on it, and he opens it up, presents it to the stick bug.
He likes peanuts with mustard on it.
Goulden's hot mustard, or just like French's yellow?
Just yellow.
Pedestrian mustard, yeah.
Yeah.
Simple taste.
Yeah. He seems happy though. He's very funny. He's very animated for the little guy. He's going to be in my movie too.
There you go. All that free time.
Can't wait. You need to get Johnny Depp's people to shop around Becker's production as well. So they'd be like a package deal. Like if you want our Stanhope pilot, you're gonna have to take Becker's stop motion. Tico and the Man.
Tico and the Man.
This week featuring Stickbug.
Well, what makes it funny is it has subtitles. So even if you don't speak Spanish, you know what they're saying.
Yeah. Good for you.
Yeah.
You don't. Where are you getting these subtitles done, Becker? You don't speak Spanish.
You're
just making them up.
No, I got a guy here that says he can translate everything.
He's called a local.
Yeah. All right. I'm this week I'm going to the casino. I'm going to be playing poker, and then I'm doing what else? Doing the gyrocopter because it's been too windy to do it. So now I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to eat some local food. And then I'm going to start packing to go home.
The gyrocopter, do you have all your affairs in order? You're doing this solo. No one else is there?
Nope. Just me.
Ballsy.
Yeah.
All right.
It's basically like a remote control helicopter that you sit in. He can handle it.
All right.
How bad can it be? It's got a goddamn Kirby vacuum engine in it.
Well, it's powerful.
I'm doing basically all the same stuff as Becker, minus the casino and
the fun
and the gyrocopter. I'm basically just going to be eating local foods, but not Costa Rican, just local Anchorage foods.
Local Anchorage foods, like trying to think of something that if I was going to go to Anchorage for 24 hours, what I would eat. I would probably go to Ray's across the street from Coots and have their Vietnamese halibut. That's probably
I've never had the Vietnamese halibut.
Oh, John, do yourself a favor. Get over there before the weekend because they're closed on the weekends and have the Vietnamese halibut. It's a great dish.
They're open from like 3:35 p.m. to 5:28 p.m. and then they're closed. And then that's only like if there's like a 3/4 waxing moon. That's like the only time they're open.
John, no one complains who's eaten there before. They just make their way there when they know they're open. It's worth it. That guy, right. Becker, back me up on this. It doesn't matter what your hours are. If you're doing something that people want to fucking buy, they will find you.
No, they do. And what's funny is I've gone over there when they're closed and I pull in their lot park thinking, boy, yeah, it's never this not busy. But there's 3 cars in the lot and they're all people waiting to see if they're going to open and they don't. And so I was backing out and 3 cars blocked me in and I was like, I had to get out and go, they're not open. Please back up.
Yeah, he's got it made. They have their own hours that are specific to what works for them. They're open for lunch, then they close for 2 hours, and then they open for dinner. And then they also take off a couple times a year for 2 weeks at a time. Just fucking closed. And they all go somewhere during Christmas. I know that. And it's great. Why wouldn't you want to be able to write your own ticket on that?
No, that's exactly.
I'm not convinced they're the best Vietnamese food in town.
I didn't say they were the best Vietnamese in town. I said they had the best Vietnamese halibut.
Supporting their lackluster work ethic.
They're not lackluster.
They're lackluster.
They're popular.
It's the opposite. Their work ethic has given them the ability to take off a couple times a year to spend with family and also to have their own hours, daily hours, based on what works for them.
I think you just described me.
Exactly. That's success, John. You millennials.
I don't know, guys. I want them open all the time whenever I want it. I also want it to be cheap, and I want them to deliver it for free to my home.
That's called Walmart.
Is that too much to ask?
Not once they get those robots in the kitchen. But you're going to have to work with human error until then, John.
It's just gonna be Vietnamese food flavored mush that I have to wear like a VR headset to see, and then it looks like delicious food. The future's terrible.
Like I said, never take off your goggles.
Never take off your goggles.
Because it only looks like mush when you take off your goggles.
All right, you've listened to another episode of Near the Wild. I'm Matt Becker, sitting in a bus in Costa Rica.
I'm John Norris, sitting in a house-shaped bus in Anchorage, Alaska.
And I'm Ggreg Chaille, not in a bus and not in Costa Rica or Alaska. I'm in Bisbee, Arizona, on the mend. You've been listening to the Near the Wild podcast with Matt Becker and John Norris, recorded in Anchorage, Alaska on Matt Becker's backyard bus. Engineered by me, Ggreg Chaille.